where does it all start, Nick? I mean, I think we've always said everything starts with an assessment, right? You need to
Everything
understand,
starts with an assessment.
yeah, what that looks like, and we've sort of, not by design, but the AppGov platform, red means bad. We've seen that in dashboards over the last year when we've demoed the actual product. But from a risk perspective, you need to sort of flag these things and understand what that means. And the first thing we do, red means bad. High exfiltration functions, and you mentioned exfiltration earlier on. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what we start with is a category where you can have immediate loss of data or might be losing data immediately, such as a business email compromise.
Mm.
So if we look at the kinds of apps which are super high, we look at the ones where data could be flowing out of you today without you knowing about it.
Mm. I mean, moving on, sort of medium, yellow, sort of amber. Is that yellow or amber, Nick? I never know. In South Africa, whatever, it's an amber. It's orange, right? The
It's
robot
the
turned
color of
orange.
this traffic light where you speed up before it turns dark red.
So anything that now read and write, we care from a malicious intent. You'd care about things that have write functions, right? Because they could destroy your data. But you also need to make sure that you understand what the read writes to the specific data. So an application talks to another application. I've got a web front end that talks to a backend database. It's got read writes, right? So for me, medium would be any application like the uh, Amazon. I can't say Alexa because she will listen to me. But when we've seen the calendar part, right? And we've always demoed the calendar part from, hey, I can read people's calendars, not just the person's calendar.
And everyone's, yeah.
Yeah. And then low, Nick, I mean, would that just be read writes?
Well, low could be I can read everybody's calendar in the organization, using very much she who should not be mentioned as the example. And she can read absolutely everyone's calendar. And so, what does that mean if I can't get the data out? It does mean that I could have someone in my organization that can read files, data, or some kind of metadata like a calendar object, and I'm giving away too much of my real estate.
It's like a wiretap in the old days, right? You're
That's right.
intercepting a packet. We no longer intercept packets, right? It's not the
No, we,
FBI
we have
putting a
phones
wiretap.
that listen to us.
Yes, we have devices everywhere that listen to us, that provide you with ads. So being able to read someone's calendar, knowing where they're going to be, that's a risk, right? And then the last thing, from anything that we believe is blue, it falls into the mature category. And like Nick said earlier on about the three tenets or the three principles of zero trust, assume breach, least privileged, verify explicitly. Least privilege is a thing and it's been around for a while. So those applications that would fall into the blue category when you're running this assessment to understand how many applications you have inside of your organization, even though it's blue, we still recommend that you actually know what this application is. It might be a third-party app that's been deployed because you've deployed SAP or you've deployed some sort of, well, dare I say, CrowdStrike into your environment, right? Because oh, I'm not going to do it. Um, but yes, even though it's blue, it doesn't necessarily mean it's mature, right? Make sure that you know what these things are.